Hi, my name is Marcus Thompson for Boss Life. If you like my content that I'm giving, please like and subscribe below of this video. Also follow me on Facebook for Boss Life. I would like to have you there. So let's jump into it today. Today I would like to talk about ownership. And the thing that caught my eye this past week was how some people are able to give up so much ownership for the almighty dollar, when sometimes it's not about the money. It's actually about the freedom, about, the control, doing what you want when you want, or when you have to do whatever it is that you want to do. To me, that's boss life. Some people consider boss, of course, as entrepreneurship. And I stated this in my last video. It's not necessarily about ownership. It's about being in control of your career, and most importantly, your life. And the subject today is ownership, because I sat back and saw a particular rapper by the name of Joe Budden get kicked off his own show. Some people look at it as like, oh, he didn't do what the bosses told him to do and all this and all that. He should have followed suit, did as what he was told. That's not particularly true. Let me give you a history on this show. I can't think of the name of it. For some reason, it's drawing a blank as I'm doing this. I want to say it's called Everyday Struggles. No, that might be the wrong one. But anyway, it's him and another host named DJ Academics. From what I've read and from what I researched, these two actually had a podcast, and it was just them two doing whatever the hell they want to. Boss life. So through the whole thing, as they accumulating subscribers, other companies took notice, and one of those companies was Complex. They even threw money at Joe Budden and DJ Academics, gave him a studio and a third host, and everything was all fine and dandy. The brainchild of Joe Budden was vibrant. I guess, just making wave. It was alive. It was his dream, his passion. It was coming true. He got the money now. And as time went on, Complex decided to add extra stuff to it. Joe Budden never wanted a third host, from what I understand. I could have read that wrong. I might be wrong. I have been wrong in the past. And they turned it into more of a interviewing thing, more so than just two guys giving their perspective on today's hip-hop. And so Complex was able to do this because they bought into the company. They bought pretty much what these two guys created. And that's one thing I always say: no matter what you do, before you give up ownership for that money, make damn sure it's what you want. Because people will give you what you want before they'll give you what you need, and probably take more in order to give you what you need. Does that make sense? Let me give you a prime example. I'm a mechanic, and somebody come to me and I see their transmission going, but they want me to install a radio. That's all fine and dandy. I might even tell them that their transmission is going out, and tell them it's against my better judgment to put a radio in your car before you put a new transmission into it. Because it makes no sense of having a fly ass, or excuse my language, a fly whip that doesn't move if it's on side of the road. It's pretty on side of the road. So that's what I always say: give people what they want and charge them extra for what they need. That used to be my principles, and in some strange way, it still is. And that's how Complex was working with Joe Budden. Joe Budden and DJ Academics wanted to grow this show. And so Complex gave them pretty much an answer to a problem that they were having. And I don't know how much of the ownership that they gave up, but obviously it was quite a bit. Because throughout the summer, you saw Joe Budden get button heads with infamous rap stars, or famous rap stars, if that's what you want to call them, constantly getting into arguments with them. Because Joe Budden is one of them guys who speaks from the heart. And so when he disagree with something, when he don't like something, he's going to let it be known. and that sometimes it hinders relationships with others. Let's fast forward this to the past couple of months. Joe Budden, Complex came to Joe Budden and say, hey, we got these new relationships with these new sponsors, and I want you to shout them out over the airwave. And Joe Budden, this is when Joe Budden decides, hey, this ain't right. Because now he feel as though he done sold out. It's funny to me because now he's feeling like he sold out. Nah, man, if you feel that way when you're doing sponsorship, that means you sold out when you signed that contract and you signed away this show that you had. You no longer have. Because now you let Complex and a bunch of people who don't understand the culture of hip-hop come in and do whatever the heck they wanted to your show. The show that you built, your brainchild. And your relationship with them soured. And that's understandable. So they decided not to renew your contract. That's funny to me, the more I think about it. Because they fired you from something that you built. Because you gave up too much ownership. So now you don't get no residuals from future shows. But you no longer are collecting any kind of checks from this company over the stuff that you built. And that's a shame. And that's a cautionary tale that goes throughout the music industry, the entertainment industry for eons, since the beginning of the entertainment industry. You hear people always talking about that this company owes them or this company owes them. In actuality, the company does not owe you nothing. They gave you what you wanted at the beginning. They might have gave you a fly new leased car, gave you some upfront money that you were happy with, and you gave away ownership of your property. And excuse me, people, dry throat. And so now you're looking kind of funny because you gave up too much. And you didn't realize it until the people that you sold to are now pulling a power move. That's not boss life. It might sound strange coming from somebody who's not even a baby boss right now, but it's coming from somebody who new philosophy on life is about that life of ownership. I done told you guys once before that within the next year to 2 years, I want to fire my boss. I want to get off from having to come into work, do somebody else's work to help their dreams come true. It's now time for me to do the same for myself. And so now I want ownership or something. And this YouTube channel, this Facebook channel, and everything else that comes with boss life is mine. And I want to grow it in my vision. And if somebody come to me with money who likes the content that I'm pushing out and want to give me X amount of dollars, I would have to sit down and negotiate. I don't care how much money is on the table. If somebody's offering me money, that means that there's room for negotiation. That means that they like something about what I'm doing and they believe in something. They believe in this just as much as me. So much so that they're willing to give up some money. So that puts me in a Joe Budden situation. Big company comes to a small company and say, hey, we like this. We want to buy into this. Now, learning from so many like Joe Budden, I know and recognize that I have some kind of leverage. I have something on my side of the table where I can say, no, not so fast. You giving me X amount of dollars. Now, the real question is, do I ask for more money or do I ask for more something else? Here's an option. Maybe I ask for less money and you give me more power to create more stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like an executive producer. I got boss life I can create. there'll be another thing I could create. Then there's another thing I could create. So now I'm over 3 different entities, all because I negotiated with this big company to do so. And that's what I would do with my leverage. And that's living the boss life. We live and we will learn from cautionary tales. We will live and we will learn from our previous mistakes. And that's why I always say you're not a boss if you're not always learning. Because hindsight is a mother. That's why I always tell people nowadays, you want to be a millionaire? Go read about somebody who's a millionaire right now or a billionaire right now. Go learn from somebody. Go get you a mentor. That's what books are for. People like to leave their legacies in breadcrumbs for you to get there. They ain't gonna tell you everything because they want you to go experiment on your own. But for the most part, they leave breadcrumbs of their legacies. And a lot of times, sometimes out of arrogance, they do it by writing books. They want to give you a piece of their mind, and they want to leave it for the rest of the world to see it, so it be everlasting. And the best way to become everlasting, especially your thoughts, is through the written word. Hence the Bible, how long that's been around, regardless of how much they done doctored it up. The fact of the matter is that the Bible, the Quran, and so forth is still around for a reason, because it's written word. People still trust the written word, and from here to the end of time, people will always go back to the written word because it's thoughts on paper. I hope y'all get a lot of value out of this, and once again, I would appreciate it if you will click the thumbs up, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and leave comments. Let me know what you think. My wife told me that the name Boss Life is corny, but it's an ideology. It's a way of life. Thank you once again, and have a fantastic holidays, and finish the 2017 years on a strong note. See you later.